Good afternoon, sailors. It's Thursday, the 6th of January, the infamous 6th of January, and SV Quetzal and crew are still berthed at Harbor Town Yacht Basin on Hilton Head Island. But tomorrow afternoon, we're going to cast the lines and head out into the Calabogie Sound and out into the Atlantic, making for Fernandina. Yeah, so the forecast is for relatively light winds, and our challenge is it's only about 90 to 95 nautical miles. And we need to leave during the hours of daylight and arrive during the hours of daylight, or at least we'd prefer to do that. And so we will probably try actually to slow ourselves down, at least initially, because the wind is going to be pretty light early on, which is good because we don't need to go very fast. And then as it picks up, it should align nicely with our effort to arrive at St. Mary's Inlet around or just after sunrise. As usual, prior to a passage, we've done a bit of preparation with the boat. I went up the mast yesterday and inspected the rig. Up here on the top. And cleaned off the moss that was growing on the bottom of the spreaders. We filled the water tanks, we've checked the oil and the transmission fluid, and we had a diver come by and just take a look at the bottom. It's pretty clean, so we didn't have him do anything. The prop's clean. A little bit of slime growing there, but not much, and it'll slough off as we make some hull speed. So it should be a pleasant trip, maybe a little bit chilly. Highs tomorrow in the high 50s. But we'll take high 50s over the alternative, which, you know, in Annapolis, the highs were in the 20s yesterday, and there's still a lot of snow on the ground, and maybe more coming this evening. Okay, so we got the boat ready to go. We're unplugged from the shore power. Basically, all we need to do is kick the tires, light the fires, drop the lines, and head out. Now, this marina we're in is very protected, but it's also quite tight. We're going to have the wind right on the beam as we back out. We're a little bit concerned that that will push our stern into a very large motor yacht that's docked behind us. So, well, you can see what I'm talking about here. So we've probably got one boat length between us and this 70-foot motor yacht, 65, 70-foot motor yacht, and the wind is coming this way. It's gonna push our stern over that way. Now, one option is just to let it do that, and we go all the way around over into this space and then motor out, which may be an option. Okay, so we're on the way. We've got a full main up, nothing else, beam reach, and we're trying to go slow, right? Because we don't want to get there too early. We have to go in the inlet at the dark, and of course, we're going 6.5 knots. We do have the current behind us. It is a falling tide, and there's some pretty wicked, I mean, it's like a 8-foot tidal change, so that makes some sense. Anyway, wind's supposed to be falling off, you know, saying 11, but it gusts up to 20. But it's supposed to be down in the 7s and 8s, so we'll see. I've got the engine in neutral, but I'm keeping it on. I'm going to keep it on until we get past this little narrow area here where there's some wrecks there's a submerged seawall there, until we get into the Tybee Roads Inlet, which is the Savannah Ship Channel. I'm gonna leave the engine on, then I'll turn it off. We're approaching the Savannah shipping channel, Tybee Roads Inlet. And there's a big Maersk container vessel entering and a smaller commercial vessel right behind it. They should be well clear of us before we reach the channel. I would say this is very gentlemanly sailing. We've got quite a lot of current behind us. We've got about 10 knots of wind. We must have 3 knots of current. Got the full main up. And we're doing about 7.5, 8 knots. We really need to slow down. But I assume that will happen once we get out of the current in the inlet. We were still going too fast, so we put a reef in the main, and now we're okay. We go 4.5, 5.5 knots. That's just right. We'll get in just after sunrise. But we were still going 6.5, 7 knots, and that was too much. It's a pretty day. It's a little brisk. 50s, and the wind is stronger than forecast. Surprise, surprise. We thought it was gonna be dead. We thought we'd just be coasting out here. But front came through last night. Maybe it'll continue to die off. Who knows? Just gotta keep going slow. Well, it's about 5 o'clock. We're still just coasting along, somewhere around 5.5 knots on average. The sun's getting ready to set over the Georgia coast. And the wind is continuing to, I don't know, maybe do 13, 14 knots. So just rolling along. Great sailing though. Oh, you know, wind's off the coast, it's offshore, so it's hardly any waves. And Lizzie's down below, taking a nap and getting ready for her watch, which will be at 8 o'clock. Somebody's enjoying the cooking.
That's right, it feels good.
Cooking when it's cold.
It feels good.
Yeah. What you got going there? Sausage and rice.
Sturdy rice.
Yum. It's kind of comfortable down here.
We're gonna eat dinner down here.
I'm gonna eat dinner down here, and then I'm gonna take a nap. You're gonna get all bundled up, right?
It's only 6:30.
Isn't it? It's gonna be 7:30 by the time I eat, and then it's gonna be like I might go early. Like if I go to bed 7:30, I can come back up at 11:30.
Or you can sleep till midnight.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. Not on a cold night. Plus, we know what's gonna happen. We know something's gonna change. Some tanker will appear out of nowhere, a ghost tanker.
What's gonna happen no matter what time?
Or the wind will change as soon as I get all my clothes off. You're gonna come down and go, you need to come back up. That's just the way it is. You love being on camera. You just love it. Can't you tell? Can't everybody tell how much she loves it when I point the camera at her? She's just like, bah! Where are you going?
I'm getting napkins because you're a slob at times.
I'm a slob. Don't tell people I'm a slob. Tell the people out there. So, you made dirty rice.
Yeah, it was really easy. Real hard.
But it's yummy. You know,
It's warm.
I love you when you make me food. I love you all the time. It looks good. Look at that. Look at that. So you ready for your watch?
Yeah, I will be.
Somebody's not happy about the 48 degrees that it is outside right now.
I will bundle up.
And the 15 knots of
Next
wind.
year we're going to have a enclosure.
Is that your New Year's resolution? Well, good evening, sailors. It's about 2:30 a.m. We've been underway for 13 and a half hours and covered 60 nautical miles, which is perfect. We were able to go quite slowly for quite a long time, so we don't have an issue now arriving at the inlet before sunrise. Let me show you what's going on. The wind's been quite variable, although it's picking up. It has clocked around from the northwest to the north, northeast, and now it's sort of east-northeast and supposed to keep going to the east, clock to the east, which would be welcome. We would like to pick up our speed to about 5.5 knots. That way we'd get into the inlet earlier, more like 8 a.m. If we keep going 4.5 knots, we'll get in around 11:30. So that's your 2:30 a.m. update. Good morning, sailors. It's about 7:30 a.m. and we're about 13 nautical miles from the St. Mary's Inlet Sea Buoy. Still making good time now. Still sailing with just the main. Wind is pretty much on our stern and the head sails are just flogging around, so we furled those in. But the plan worked out. Go slow at first so that we wouldn't arrive in the dark. How's it going? Got wind? Rollier. Waves have built. Waves have built. Oh, I slept for about an hour. Waves have built up. Just like that, SV Quetzal is tied up at Fernandina Harbor Marina.